joining this panel on social entrepreneurship in Africa. My name is Shaban. I grew up in Egypt and I'm currently a second-year master in public policy at the Harvard Kennedy School. Most recently, I worked in a healthcare startup in Cairo. Unfortunately, I learned yesterday that two of our panelists, Dr. Muhammad Aburawi and Mr. Obi Charles Nana, could not make it. I panicked a little bit, but thankfully for us, Mr. Alexander Tsado agreed to join, as well as Samlara Baah. Very last minute, so thank you so much for sitting on. In terms of structure, I thought I wanted to keep this rather informal, and so I have a lot of questions prepared, but I thought maybe I can take 30 minutes of moderated questions and then leave it up to you to really steer this conversation in whatever direction you want to go. So yeah, does that sound good? So I'm really excited now to introduce our amazing panelists. First, I'll start with Rehmah Kasule, right? Who was a Ugandan entrepreneur and founder of CEDA International. Her work impacted over 180,000 youth and women to reframe their thinking and attitudes and lead change in their community. She consulted on education reform, gender inequality, and private sector development for the United Nations, the African Development Bank, and the International Trade Center. She is currently a senior fellow at the Harvard Advanced Leadership Initiative, working on Wealth in Africa, a social venture that is creating career and employment pathways for youth in Africa through innovation and technology. Collaborating with the private sector, her work is building solutions to strengthen the labor and entrepreneurship ecosystem to address youth unemployment. Her work has won several international awards and was recognized by the Rehmah Kasule. Welcome. I'd also like to introduce Patel, who is the co-founder and CEO of Enlight, a startup that's focused on skill development for the off-grid solar industry by working with solar companies to solve their human capital needs through their last-minute technical and field training to in North Uganda. He's also the co-founder at Village Energy, a Ugandan solar last-minute distributor focused on productive use of energy, including custom solar installations for businesses. Prior to moving to Uganda in 2015, he spent 5 years at Google in advertising and sales. He is an active East Africa fellow and sitting here alumni with years of experience steering and mentoring inner city. Welcome, Jay. We also have Alexander Tsado, who is the founder of Alliance for AI, a hub for AI and emerging technology in Africa, which is, as a virtual accelerator, empowers schools, startups, and governments to more successfully applying AI to solving critical challenges that can reposition Africa in the global economic landscape. Today, the Alliance for AI advises governments on AI policy, supports more than 70 AI startups, and partners with training organizations that collectively empower more than 50,000 Africans in 2019. He's also a product lead for high-performance cloud computing at CEDA. So, welcome. And finally, we have Samlara Baah, who is the founder of Loo Works Limited, which she started in 2014 with the goal of changing the sanitation landscape in Ghana. The company creates dignified household toilet solutions for low-income populations. Loo Works is currently working to scale. Today, the company manufactures privacy structures paired with a biological digester for low-income communities in Ghana. She's currently a mid-career Master in Public Administration candidate at the Harvard Kennedy School as well. She's an Adrian Cheng Fellow. As a Cheng Fellow, her focus is on creating an ecosystem to support low-income communities through advocacy and knowledge-sharing campaigns while increasing the range of funding models for underserved communities. She's also very interested in creating opportunities for upcoming entrepreneurs in the developing world. I would love it if you could tell us a bit about why is it that you think that we founded Alliance for AI, and why did you think there was a need for help for AI in Africa?
Thank you very much. It's an honor to address you all in the room. I'm pretty happy to be here. Well, to tell you why we started Alliance for AI, I probably should go back to where I was born. I come from the ancient city of Benin in Nigeria. It used to be a global powerhouse back in the 1400s. But at the time when I was born, in 1980 or thereabouts, but it was a pretty humble place, right? Coming from such a humble background, I'm able to sit in front of you today because I've been responsible for deploying most of the NVIDIA GPUs on the major public clouds in the US and China. So why is that important? You're all familiar that our favorite president, Trump, is fighting intensely with China, right? US and China. And one of the big things they're fighting about is artificial intelligence. I don't know if you're familiar with why that's important, but many people have said that the country or companies that drive artificial intelligence or will lead the world, right? So about 80% of all the AI that's trained in the world today runs on NVIDIA's technology platform. And NVIDIA is the company I work for, and I drive cloud business there. And so that has given me this privilege and opportunity to see what really the world is building with artificial intelligence. And it's incredible. It's really beautiful future that the world, at least parts of the world, is going to see. I'll just give one example. AI really, to think about it, it's not about flying robots or autonomous cars or what people keep talking about. Those are there, but that's not AI. AI is your phone. You're using Facebook today. That's AI, right? And more interestingly, at least for me, is applications in spaces like agriculture and healthcare. In the healthcare space, I can give a very clear example. With MRI machines, they're incredibly expensive, but at the same time quite slow. It can take maybe 20, 30 minutes at its slowest to capture a medical image for a patient who's they're trying to scan for cancer, for example, right? So which means you can only look at maybe 2 patients an hour. With AI, companies are using the platform that we deploy to reduce that time from say 20, 30 minutes to 5 minutes. And now you can see 6 more people, right? So this is happening in America, and this is happening in China. And so what's happening is, well, this is where we start. This is Africa, right? And this is America. There's already a gap between us in terms of everything, really. But now they are improving themselves with America, with artificial intelligence. And so America and China and whoever follows, there may be like less than 10 countries in the world doing well with AI, by the way. They're not 90. They're going to do this, right? And that's in 3 to 5, like it's already happening. It's not, we're not talking about a long time ago. It's happening, and I can see all of that flowing through my laptop every day. So I started to see that 15 months ago and realized that, okay, everybody in this room really needs to start an NGO that's helping Africa adopt AI. Otherwise, we're going to be there. And at that point, I don't know what is going to happen with the world. And this is literally, it's happening in front of us. 3 to 5 years, I think it would be like, you'll take that way. And so that's why we put together Alliance for Africa's Intelligence. It's my effort. I hope you start your own efforts, figure out how AI is important and how it can be, make it more accessible to parts of where you come from, right? With our work, we are a virtual accelerator. And as accelerators go, we work with startups, but in addition to startups, we also work with schools and governments. I'll just give short examples of those. In terms of the schools part, yesterday I spoke with a lady called Uyo. It's a small city in Nigeria. And she described how she's a philosophy major, but learned about AI on Facebook, and for the past 2 years has forced herself to learn through many means, and now hosts communities and trains people every weekend, up to 50 people. So we'll work with her to help her build a bigger school and a bigger program. So that's what we go around doing for schools across Africa with 7 countries now. In terms of for startups, we engage startups individually or more efficiently through accelerator programs and host AI clinics, where, for example, we can help startups that say they're AI startups. I'm sure you've said that before, where companies just put AI on their deck, but they don't really know what it means. Well, we like those guys. At least you know the words AI. How about we host a clinic with you and help you actually be AI, right? And show you where to find, say, $100,000 of free cloud credits to work with. So that's AI clinics. Finally, in terms of governments, there's so many experts who are Africans, who are in the diaspora, who drive some of these technologies, right? But we don't influence our countries And so with Alliance for AI, we try to find those people, put them into some sort of like league of experts, and then use them to provide advisory to African companies. And the first one we've done that with is South Africa, right? So after 8 months of working with President Rehmah Kasule's government, 6 days ago, he became the chair of the Africa Union, and he announced that AI would be one of his priority programs, right? He announced the Africa AI Forum. So that's a huge win for us. So now it's a skeleton, it's just an announcement. And so now we have to work to put flesh on that bone. And I hope you're able to check our website, see how much progress we've made, see if you want to volunteer or work with us. We provide grants, I like money too. Yeah, we'll keep growing. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. I guess I'll speak about one. This is around just growing companies, be it a social enterprise, NGO, or for-profit company. And this is important because I did notice that very many African and even Black businesses tend to stay very small and not grow. Mostly you have the founder end up doing all the work, most times by choice actually. They decide to just monopolize the whole thing and not grow. And so I and my team, we have to think deeply about what it takes to actually grow businesses. And I'll use a sports analogy to think about this. I watch a lot of football, soccer, and so with that, it's almost like, yes, when you start out as the founder or co-founders of this thing, you have the vision and you're like a captain of a team, and then you recruit players. But really very quickly, you should start thinking about how you're able to almost move towards being a coach. Not the captain who's playing, but being a coach. So you should very actively start to identify people in your team that you can train to do other things, and even with them, encourage them that the true point of growth with them is at the point where they can say, look, I've trained someone else to do my current role, and then you say, all right, now you're ready for the next step, right? And so that's how you keep growing. So we've really tried to imbibe that a lot within our Alliance for AI over the last 15 months, and I think that's how we're able to grow pretty quickly and achieve what we have in a short time. Provide I guess, quick response to some of those questions. Well, mostly the failure one. My 2 words for how I address failure, there are 2 things that it's one of them is mindset, and the second one is diversification, having options, right? On the mindset piece, right from a very young age, I was that child who was 10 years old and into house sports, could not run fast. I always took joy in the fact that I never finished last. I was always second to last. So there was one person I beat, and the games had food, so I ate. So that was great, right? So that's where I come from. And so today, I almost never have. That's why I had a tough time answering the question, because I never think of the word failure. Every day is a success. I learned something that day. I met someone that day that improved me from the day before. So it's never really. So that was kind of hard. But in terms of the second piece, I said diversification. Every week, I think we have to face a serious fire. If it's not every day, but mostly every week there's one big fire that you need to turn off. We've been able to succeed so far because we try to have multiple options all the time. Every time we're working on the key objective, let's have 3 paths towards success, and hopefully not all 3 fail. Sometimes they do. With funding, we have not raised enough, but I think nobody ever raises enough money. I think the song says, even Dangote is still a family. So we're still looking for money, so yeah, that's a failure in itself. We need to raise more. Thank you.
I'm actually curious, since you're a virtual accelerator, do you support some of the startups that you help with getting access to some investors? Is that something you do?
Yes, so we have a wealth of knowledge of global companies that have these funds to give. And those are companies, Google, Nvidia, Microsoft, very, very actively promote these resources to startups around the world. But that world does not include Africa. There's absolutely no promotion to African companies that are using these key technologies. And so every time we'll hear about those things, yeah, we pick them and put it on our. So we have a newsletter that goes out every 2 weeks. Next one is tomorrow. So maybe go to our website at allianceforai.org and join the newsletter. We post all those opportunities on there. And right now there's one for $15,000 that we're promoting. So yeah. Just take the coach one and then take the other ones. With that one, it's very difficult, I think. It's very difficult, but then maybe two things that have really helped. One of them is recruiting, is in hiring. And then the second, hiring for passion and culture fit, alignment with you yourself, right? And then the second one is around really just learning almost to let go. I think a lot of people try to protect their jobs and their roles, and so they don't want to teach others because they're thinking, if someone else learns how to do this, I'm going to get fired or let go. But really, I think folks in leadership are aware that that's an important skill set to have, and if you demonstrate that you're willing to be open and teach, they actually value you and promote you more as against get you get fired. So I explained more on the second one, but the first one is hiring for fit. Yeah, definitely thinking about while you're hiring, trying to gauge for someone who is as passionate about the cause as much as you are. Yeah.